Firstly, just want to say it's an absolute honour and a privilege to speak here today. I was actually looking at the list. Wow. I didn't realise I was speaking in front of the leader, the council, and councillors. So it's a privilege. It's a privilege. I'm chuffed. 10 years ago, it's been an interesting journey for myself. 10 years ago, I was sitting in Felton YY after a massive span of crime. I did a talk yesterday and I spoke about my circle of association and the moral standards of the area I grew up in. And, you know, for example, the group I grew up around, I said to some of my friends, should I go to university? He said, nah, you don't want to go there, you'll be a Freemason. And I said to another friend, at this time I had size, I think I was size 9 or 10. And I said, yeah, I want to get some trainers. Mum, how much? Trainers cost $150. Mum said, no, you can wait till your birthday or Christmas. And I was like, Mum, that's 6 months away. So I go back to the circle of association and they say, listen, you can pick up a line or you can go and do county lines. And these are the sort of things 10 years ago that I was influenced in and the things that I was surrounded by. So looking back and forward into 2019 has been an interesting journey. It has been and it's an absolute pleasure to be here speaking alongside all of you. I just want to commend Merton Council for being on the front foot. Yes, we are one of the safest boroughs, but it's great that we're on the front foot. We're not becoming complacent and that we're continuing to do these sort of events. It's an absolute pleasure. I am representing Unique Talent today. Unique Talent started in 2015. We're a group of young people. He says that. You know, to be totally honest, a lot of the issues in the borough, you know, in total honesty, we contributed to some of these things that are happening through gang crime, through violence, and we're not proud of it. And for us, this is community payback. Unique Talent is us giving back to the community. We have a responsibility, we're parents now, and we want to make amends, we want to make a difference to these young people that are running around carrying knives, thinking it's cool to do these things. Many young people have misconceptions. They think prison is cool, they think carrying a knife is a cool thing, and we are out here, our main agenda is to dispel and demystify all these misconceptions. So it's interesting because 10 years ago when I was running around in a gang and I was getting involved with crime and I wanted things quickly, my colleague, Michael, we was in rival groups, so I grew up in Croydon, and Michael was from Merton, and it's interesting because we was in 2 rival groups, and it was at a point where we would have, if we saw each other, it would have been really serious, and we could have been another statistic, as you see on the board today. So I'm just thankful that we're here today to talk about our journeys, and the past we've come a long way, and that is credit to all the professionals in this room, because if it wasn't for people like Jason Young, who stuck alongside Michael Appiah, if it wasn't like companies like St. Giles Trust, if it wasn't for the gangs units being consistent, we would not have been here today speaking today. If it wasn't for the through the gate support that I had, if it wasn't for the family ties and the consistency and professionals not giving up on people like myself, I wouldn't be speaking here today. And that is why I'm so passionate about doing this work. We're really keen to continue this work and give young people a chance, because all they need is someone consistent in their life who will give them the break they need. Let's get this right, okay? Is it working? There we go. Unique Talent started in 2015. Our main agenda was to prevent knife crime, to prevent gangs, and to stop young people from getting involved with serious youth violence. We come together, and at the beginning stages it was very difficult, and we approached Merton. I remember it, our first time approaching Merton, and some people were looking at us like, what is this group? Group of ex-offenders, ex-gang members. I was looking at the presentation from Crime Stoppers thinking, geez, I was probably on there 10 years ago. And I understand. If I was in your position, I wouldn't have looked at my organisation yourselves. So, you know, we've had to prove ourselves. And, you know, we're not... Fast forward to 2019, I'm now a family man, married man, I'm a homeowner, I've made a massive transition, and I'm an example to my children and the younger people around me. These young people are not silly. They will look at you and they will see if you're genuine, if you really care about them, and they will look at your life. If you're not living by example, they're not going to be looking to you for advice and guidance. So they will look deep into your life, and when you're telling them to stop gang crime, stop violence, they're looking into the deep nitty-gritty behind your life. And for us, it's important that we've made that full transition. That transition where young people can look at us and say, you know what, I need to follow the footsteps of Chris. And Jason Young, who's one of your workers, was very similar. He helped Michael Appiah, one of our workers, to make that transition from gangs. And actually, Michael Appiah was one of your top gang nominals at the time. So it is an example that it can be done. Now, I'm going to go off this slide a bit because I just want to touch on what we do. So we do 3 things, and we've developed it over the years because we realise that there's a massive need. So the main thing is going into schools, year 5, 6 and 7, because those are the ages where young people are most vulnerable and enticed into the gang world or the knife crime world. So we believe at that age we can catch young people, we can demystify the misconceptions that they're fed. The media is fuel to the fire. This is the thing that is getting through. So if you listen to some of the songs that are coming through on the radio, on our daytime radio, the songs that they're listening to, example, Gun Lean, and some of the parents out there will encourage their kids to dance to it. It's only innocent, but some of the lyrical content that's coming through is sexualized, it incites violence, and it's no good for our children, it incites violence. The second thing that we do is we go to schools and we prevent young people. We do workshops, we talk to kids, and we share our experiences. We share the realities of getting involved with gangs. I share my experiences of going to prison, being in Feltham. Feltham is not fit for human living. It's a horrible place where you spend 23 hours a day in a prison cell. I wouldn't even wish for your pets to be in a place like Feltham. It's understaffed.